Maine Mendoza, heartbroken? Fans wonder if Alden's next love team could leave her out. What happens when the person you once shared the biggest love team story with suddenly looks ready to start a brand new chapter? With someone else? For Maine Mendoza and longtime AlDub fans, that question is becoming impossible to ignore. For years, Alden Richards and Maine Mendoza were almost inseparable in the eyes of entertainment fans. Their names became synonymous with AlDub, and their Kalyeserye journey created memories that millions of supporters still treasure. But now, the possibility of Alden returning to the love team spotlight with a new partner is creating a very different kind of conversation. And one question is beginning to dominate the minds of fans. What would Maine feel if Alden chose someone else for his next big project? A new chapter without Maine? Imagine the announcement fans have been waiting for. Alden Richards is returning with a major new project. Everyone is excited. Everyone wants to know who his leading lady will be. Then comes the reveal. And it's not Maine Mendoza. For longtime AlDub supporters, that moment could be emotional. After everything Alden and Maine experienced together, seeing Alden begin another love team journey with someone else would naturally bring back memories of the past. It could feel like the closing of a chapter that some fans never wanted to end. Why Maine's name still comes up. Maine isn't simply another former co-star. She was half of one of the most recognizable entertainment partnerships of the past decade. Their on-screen story became so popular that fans created an entire world around them. They celebrated their milestones. They defended their favorite pair. They waited for every new development. And for many supporters, the idea of Alden with another leading lady naturally raises complicated emotions, not necessarily because Maine has publicly said she wants the role, but because fans remember what Alden and Maine once represented together. Could Maine really be heartbroken? This is where the story becomes more complicated. There is currently no reason to claim as fact that Maine is actually heartbroken or upset about Alden potentially choosing another actress. Maine has her own life and career, and she has continued moving forward professionally and personally. But that doesn't stop fans from imagining how emotional such a moment could be. After all, when you've shared such a massive chapter with someone, watching them enter a new chapter can bring complicated feelings, even if those feelings are simply nostalgia. And that's what makes this possibility so fascinating. Alden has the right to explore something new. Alden has spent years building his career beyond AlDub. A new project with another actress wouldn't erase what he and Maine accomplished. It wouldn't erase Kalyeserye. It wouldn't erase the memories. It would simply mean Alden is exploring another chapter of his career, and perhaps that's exactly what he should do. Actors need opportunities to grow. They need new characters, new stories, new partnerships, and audiences need to see them evolve. But AlDub fans may struggle with the change. For some longtime fans, however, moving forward isn't always easy. They may look at a new Alden pairing and immediately remember Maine. They may compare the chemistry. They may revisit old AlDub clips. They may ask whether the new partnership could ever create the same excitement. That's understandable, but every love team has its own identity. Trying to recreate AlDub would probably be impossible. The best thing a new partnership could do is create something completely different. The real emotional question. Maybe the question isn't, will Alden choose Maine? Maybe it's, can fans accept Alden and Maine moving into completely different chapters? That's a much bigger question. Because celebrities grow up, careers change, relationships change, and sometimes the people who once seemed inseparable on screen eventually become important memories from another era. That doesn't make their story less meaningful. It simply means life continued. And Maine has her own story to tell. Maine Mendoza has never been limited to AlDub. Her career has continued to develop independently, and she has had opportunities to establish herself outside the character and love team image that first made her a household name. That's something fans should remember. Maine doesn't need to be Alden's leading lady again to prove that their partnership mattered. The legacy already exists, the memories already exist, and millions of people already know what they created together. But what if Alden's next choice really surprises everyone? That's where the anticipation becomes exciting. Who could the mystery actress be? Would she be a familiar star? A rising actress? Someone nobody expects? And what kind of story would Alden create with her? The possibilities are endless. But perhaps the most interesting reaction won't come from the new actress. It will come from the fans who spent years believing Alden and Maine were the ultimate pair. One announcement could bring back an entire era. The moment Alden's new project is officially announced, social media could light up. Old AlDub hashtags could return. Fans could start posting throwback clips. Maine's name could trend alongside Alden's. And suddenly, a brand new project could send everyone back to 2015. That's how powerful nostalgia can be. One new chapter can remind people of an old one. Maybe this isn't a goodbye, and perhaps that's the sweetest way to look at it. Alden choosing a new partner doesn't have to mean the end of everything connected to Maine. It doesn't erase their friendship, their professional history, or the incredible impact they had together. It simply means the future doesn't have to look exactly like the past. And maybe that's okay, because sometimes the most beautiful stories aren't the ones that remain unchanged forever. They're the ones that evolve. The fans are watching. For now, the biggest questions remain unanswered. Will Alden really return to a major love team project? Who will stand beside him? Will Maine be involved? And if she isn't, how will fans react? Until something is officially confirmed, those questions remain part of the speculation surrounding the next chapter. But one thing is certain. If Alden Richards walks onto the screen with a new leading lady, millions of eyes will be watching, and many of them will be remembering Maine Mendoza. Because some partnerships don't disappear simply because the cameras stop rolling. Sometimes they become the standard against which every new chapter is measured.